Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now January 5th of 2022. Now, with the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 2, The Tribes of Tatooine, now out on Disney+, I gotta say guys, I would definitely suggest watching it as soon as possible. It is a better and improvement to Chapter 1, which I know a handful of Star Wars fans had issues with. You know, there were a lot of mixed reactions on the first chapter of the Book of Boba Fett and exactly how it really introduced the character of Boba Fett. I, however, really enjoyed the first chapter, but I digress. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. We do post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really make sure to interact with you guys further. So what's really exciting about the future of Star Wars is that we are now in a very interesting phase, right? We're getting through the Book of Boba Fett season. We have 5 episodes left. Can you believe that? I mean, it's unfortunate that this season of the Book of Boba Fett, for starters, is so short, but both John and Dave are already discussing about a season 2 of the Book of Boba Fett based on the fan reception up until episode 5 of the Book of Boba. That's when they're going to ultimately decide if they want to greenlit a season 2 or not. So moving beyond all of this, alright, one thing that we already know is that back in February of 2021, when Gina Carano was fired by Kathleen Kennedy in the worst way possible, we have seen a big change in Star Wars fans. We have seen a lot of fans drop their Disney Plus accounts. A lot of fans pretty much sold a lot of their Cara Dune merchandise. A lot of fans also got rid of all of their Star Wars merchandise. I mean, there was a big shift in exactly what happened to the fandom after Gina Carano was fired and after the sequel trilogy came to an end in December of 2019. So, with all of that being done and said, however, what's really intriguing has everything to do with what's been going on behind the scenes with the rehiring plan of Gina Carano. Now, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars TV shows and movies that are set to be announced at Star Wars Celebration, it's described that Disney CEO Bob Chapek is beginning to make some key changes to the Star Wars brand currently ahead of time. Further, it's described, however, that recently actress Gina Carano and her rehiring has been causing some issues behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm. Now, further, it's described that currently, given that Favreau and Filoni have convinced Disney's higher-ups to bring back Gina Carano for The Mandalorian Season 4, and that the finalization of all of this will take place next month, this is said to be creating a stir behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm between some of the employees and even Kathleen Kennedy. Further, it's noted that many of the visual artists, some writers, and even concept artists are angry toward John and Dave pushing for Gina Carano to come back into the Mandoverse. This also includes Kathleen Kennedy, who has been in close contact with Bob Chapek, recently trying to put an end to this plan of Favreau and Filoni to bring back Gina into the Star Wars equation. Now, on top of this, with Gina Carano set to come back as Cara Dune, this is causing some of the visual artists and others at Lucasfilm already making a stand ahead of time that they do not want to work on any project with Gina Carano on all of this ever again after what happened in February of 2021. So let me just stop right here. We already know that a lot of Lucasfilm employees have had a lot of issues with Gina Carano over the years. This is no secret. This is no thing that a lot of fans don't know about. This is very well known that there's a lot of Lucasfilm employees, you know, low level or high level, that have issues with Gina Carano. I mean, even the actors like Freddie Prinze Jr. as a great example, really went off on Gina on Twitter. I'm sure that you guys remember about all of that. And even some of the writers over there and some of the workers over at Lucasfilm that are more so associated with the art of the franchise also had a lot of issues with Cara Dune as a character. Now, obviously, I mean, I think that things are being blown way out of proportion here. Things need to be settled. Things need to be balanced out. Again, this is a work environment. I don't know why it's acting as if it is high school or middle school at that. That's what it really comes off as. But George, John, and Dave, you know, what they're doing right now is that they are trying to create this new baseline over at Lucasfilm for everybody to behave correctly, everybody for them to, of course, really kind of interact with Star Wars fans in a more different manner, in a more respectful way. You know, we've seen many people associated with Lucasfilm actually lashing out against the fans on Twitter, and that absolutely needs to stop. I mean, that's the one thing that needs to be put to an end forever. Now, moving on from all of this, all right, so this in turn is causing a great concern between the employees over at Lucasfilm that both support and dislike Gina Carano in the process. This whole problematic situation over at Lucasfilm, however, is not causing Disney to budge at all or make a different decision for Gina's return. Disney is still staying on target to bring her back in Mando Season 4, which is slated for a 2023 release window. With Gina Carano agreeing to return, even actors like Pedro Pascal is on the fence of being supportive of her return. Though Gina has shown a ton of support for Pedro, Pedro willingly never made it official that he supported Gina Carano after her firing, and now he is described to be on Kathleen Kennedy's side of things, that she should never return over at Lucasfilm. Not a big surprising thing, to be honest. We've seen everything that Pedro has posted on Twitter. It was actually, in my opinion, way worse than what Gina posted on Twitter, to be honest with you guys. I don't know why Pedro wasn't let go. I don't know why they didn't even have, at the minimum, a conversation with him that was actually, you know, made public. They didn't even do anything like that. But Gina said what she said on Twitter, and take it for what it is. I know some of you guys out there are going to say it was offensive. Some of you guys are going to say that Gina did nothing wrong. And everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I welcome that. I really do accept that. However, think that Gina should have stayed hired over at Lucasfilm. There was no need to fire her. There was no need to get rid of her from the project because it caused nothing but issues between the fandom and Disney/Lucasfilm as companies. Again, it cost them some, you know, money, actually. A lot of people dropped their accounts. A lot of people I know that actually got the news about Gina Carano getting fired and were mega fans of her being pretty much a nice fighter. They dropped their accounts, they got rid of them, and they have not gone back since. So it's going to take a lot of convincing to really get those fans back on board, without a doubt. Now, on top of that, Disney CEO Bob Chapek wants to put an end to all this drama once and for all in the most civil way possible in order to move forward and just stay focused on the work at hand here. Now, Disney at this point in time just wants to put on high-quality Star Wars TV shows for Disney Plus and new Star Wars movies as well for the time being, to prove to the fans that they can develop amazing and impressive work once again. Now, further, it's described that Gina Carano's return is set to be announced at Star Wars Celebration of 2022, which is happening this May. Both John and Dave want to make sure that The Mandalorian is going to end with a bang before they move on to other characters and new adventures for Grogu, and others like Luke Skywalker and even Ahsoka Tano as well. So, again, I mean, we obviously know that Gina Carano has created a stir over at Lucasfilm even when she was fired. This really all began when she was fired. It really kind of showed us the more true side of how Lucasfilm acts in its nature. A lot of employees, including Kathleen Kennedy over there as the president. It just goes to show you that there needs to be a lot of work to be done. Lucasfilm needs to be reworked, and John and Dave need to clean house, which is exactly what they are doing already. Ever since they got those promotions by Bob Chapek, they have more creative power, they have more control over the projects, they can call the shots on many of the Star Wars lore to be implemented in not just the TV shows, but the movies, the games, the comics, the books, the novels. I mean, the list goes on. They have a lot of control over how Star Wars is going to move forward. And you know what? I'm very proud of that, and I'm really much in belief that we are in good hands. So overall, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.